Morning and good afternoon and good evening, everyone. Extend a warm welcome to you for this Code to SAP solution for Code to Cash, or what we call it, the BRIM solution. I'm Vasavi and I work as the localization product manager for BRIM India. Morning and I also have with me my colleagues Andrea Bathil, who is the localization chief product owner, Sabine. Mukesh, are we hearing my voice 2 times? Or,
yes, hi.
okay?
Hi.
No.
Hello, Vasavi. Hi.
Only once. All good.
Okay. All good? Okay. So we also have Sabine. She's the chief product, she's the product owner for BRIM localization. And Veronica, who is the global product manager for convergent invoicing. So in the interest of time, let's start with the agenda. So we would today we will discuss about the solution for.
You have to share your screen, Vasavi, because we don't see your screen.
You don't see my screen? Okay. Just a minute.
Yes. Now we can see it.
Yeah.
Just go on presentation mode.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Can you see
Yes.
it now?
Perfect.
Okay. Good.
Perfect.
So with regard to the agenda, we will discuss about the solution from SAP for Code to Cash Management. We will then go on to SAP BRIM and document and reporting compliance. We will then have a localization overview, what we have done in localization. We'll discuss a few points on that. And then the roadmap, what has been done so far, what we are planning to do in the future, those points for India and other countries would be discussed. And of course, documentation and a few important useful links, which would be a takeaway for all of us, will be given. At the end of the presentation, we'll also have a demo where we will depict a small scenario which has already been localized for India BRIM. Yeah. All right. So we see that we have different companies in the industry, like the streaming industry, the streaming companies, the content subscriptions companies, the fleet management companies, health and wellness subscriptions. So all these industries today are moving towards the flexible model, or the model of subscription management. Customers in the of these companies want flexibility in their payment plans. They want they want to pay as they used. They want personalized offers. And most importantly, they want value in for the services that they consume. So today, I am watching a match, a World Cup series on Hotstar for a month. I would like to pay for the subscription for that particular month or that particular package. So this is what the industry today is demanding. If you look at the market trends also, there is the investor is more, the global investors are looking at companies which are having recurring revenues. And of course, we know that there is a lot of economic uncertainty and also unpredictability in terms of the political situation in different parts of the world. So what is as a result, what's happening is everything the business is moving towards subscriptions. Everything is taken or is bought as a service. And pay-per-use is something that the customer is looking for, and personalized bundle. There are so many players in the market. All solutions from different players need to be integrated, and every company is looking at a accurate revenue sharing model. Yeah. So having said this, what we see here is there are a lot of companies who are adding subscriptions, pay-per-use, pay-per-outcome, and so on and so forth. But what happens is when these modules, when the different modules or when the different departments of a company are disconnected or they don't work in sync with each other, every other team or every other department of a company faces some issues. For example, the marketing teams feels that there are long lead times. There are so much of limitations in terms of pricing options, difficulties in bundling products. The sales feels that the costs are very high, and the lead times and also the time to scale up, train the employees and scale up to the new offerings or bundled offerings are very high. The customer success team also is having huge support calls to handle. They are facing a lot of unhappy customers because the billing is not very clear. It is not very concise. So these are some of the problems. And from the operations team, there are a lot of SKUs. The operation feels it is very difficult to handle these SKUs and product catalogs. Finance, of course, is always crying with revenue leakage and audit issues. They have too much of time. They take too much of time in closing the books of accounts because the accounting is not very accurate. And IT, of course, is talking about scalability in terms of, the growing business demands, the new pricing bundles that are being offered at a very short period of time. So, so on and so forth. Yeah. So with SAP solution for quote to cash, you can amplify your quote to cash process, so that you have the flexibility, you have the agility and the scalability to create innovative and customer-centric offers. Growing recurring revenues by faster and quickly launching innovative offerings using a variety of pricing and billing option is possible with SAP Quote to Cash Management. You can maximize the value that is offered to the customer with Quote to Cash Management, and scaling and the complexity of scaling to a next level is easy with SAP Quote to Cash Management. All right. By offering a pre-integrated module, SAP provides a true end-to-end coverage of the entire quote-to-cash process. When you want to, just a second. So SAP orders, if SAP offers an end-to-end coverage of the entire quote-to-cash process. So just a second, I will just go back. Yeah, so it enables. So we have. So what is SAP offering as a localization, as an added value in the form of localization? It enables scalability of this digital business. We offer high degree of compliance with legal mandates. We want the companies to run globally, in the sense that a policy which is made in the head office and is applicable to all the to all its branches all over the world. We want our solution to run globally. At the same time, we want it to be locally compliant. This is something that SAP BRIM aims at, and key areas of compliance, be it taxation, statutory reporting, e-invoicing, or the electronic invoicing that we call it, payments, all those key areas of compliance have to be taken care of. And the other part is we want to have, support our customers at every stage with the legal requirement. So it is not only a one-time solution that SAP offers to its customers, and then we are done and dusted with our, sale of the software. But we always support you as we do it for all other products. We always support you with any upcoming legal changes which affect the product. So this is something that localization has added value in terms of BRIM. Yeah. Okay. Any questions so far, or? Okay, so if you have questions, probably you can start, putting the questions in the chat, and our colleagues will try to answer the questions. Anyways, in case, we have questions which you want to ask, then at the end of this session, after the demo, we can open the floor for questions, and we can have a nice question and answer session. Yeah, so... yeah, by offering an pre-integrated modules in so here, so where is the solution localized? We come to BRIM, Billing and Revenue Innovation Management. Where is the solution localized? So the solution for BRIM is localized. So when we look at BRIM, we have 4 modules basically. One is the subscription order management. The second is the convergent charging. The next is the convergent invoicing, and the last is FICA, that is contract accounting. So our solution for BRIM is localized with convergent invoicing and FICA. This is in compliance in conjunction with SAP document reporting and compliance. So our solution for so whenever a convergent invoice is created, then the taxes are determined. Whether it be in Indian terms, it could be the GST, or it could be the TCS when if there is a if there is an invoice which involves goods and services. So all these, when the invoice is created, and if it is a B2B scenario, we have the e-invoice generation, so and the e-invoice creation and the submission of the e-invoice. So e-invoice submission, creation and submission is taken care with the help of DRC. And of course, once the e-invoice is created, we then come to the accounting of the invoices. So the accounting is mainly taken care in the FICA, which is an inbuilt module. And the reporting, when we come to the reporting, all the statutory report in terms of statutory reports, we talk about the GSTR reporting, for example, in India, where we have, the GSTR 1, 3B, all those reports which are sent to the tax authorities. These reporting are currently handled by DRC. So here, SAP DRC helps BRIM in generating these reports and submission to the tax authorities. Of course, whatever the necessary payment formats and bank statements are also supported as a part of the localization. Okay. So, any questions so far? Okay, going now to the details of document and reporting compliance and how legal requirements are addressed from SAP BRIM. On the right hand side, you will see all the communication and authorization processes that are covered by SAP BRIM. And on the left hand side, you will also see SAP convergent invoicing and also SAP FICA. So for statutory reports, DRC. So we have to first remember that DRC is one of the main component, that also one of the main component along with BRIM. So all the statutory reports, DRC can now read from FICA, and for the reports, these reports are generated out of DRC and are sent to the authorities. And for electronic invoicing and the creation of electronic invoicing and also submitting of electronic invoices, for this part also we are looking at SAP DRC. So the creation is happening within SAP convergent invoicing, but however for the standard process of the e-invoice cockpit or the new solution of e-invoicing will take care of this creation of e-invoice and submitting the same. So when we, at the end of this presentation, when we have the demo, I will show this. How an invoice is created and how it is being generated, and the entire the cockpit of e-invoice and the outcome later on. Okay. So here in this particular screen, we are now looking at the sample screen here of manage electronic documents. So this manage electronic documents is basically our it's the new name given for the e-invoice cockpit. So here it is the central monitor. As we see, it is the central monitor for all our services, and then we have everything is very explicitly shown here. It's very easy. The status of each invoice is here, and the date when it has been created, the source from where so if you see here, we have the source from where it has been created. So in this case, we see that all these invoices here on the right hand side, when you see the source description, it says created from convergent invoicing document, and then you can also navigate back to the source document. So this is one. So this is nothing new from the for our colleagues who have who have seen the e-document cockpit. It just now has a different name called as the Manage Electronic Documents. Yeah. So. SAP Billing and Revenue Management, we have around 30 local versions which are there in our roadmap. The ones you see here is a nice representation where we have all the blue, the dark blue, part of the globe. Here we have supported all these countries, and the light blue ones are still under, we are in the process of supporting them, and we have 20 versions or local versions which are already supported, and 10 of them are in the roadmap. More than 60 statutory reports is what we are looking at supporting, and this is all also not only with BRIM but with the help of SAP DRC. Okay. We now come to the roadmap, the localization roadmap for SAP HANA Cloud, Private Edition and On-Premise. We will see what's been recently delivered here and what has been planned for the 2023 by the end of this year, and also what has been planned for the future. From a recent deliverable perspective, we have already completed the localization of GST, QR code for B2C invoices, and electronic invoice creation and submission, payment formats and bank statements. For the upcoming quarter, that is within the end of this year, we will also deliver tax collected at source for invoices which have a combination of goods and services. In the quarter, in the second half of 2024 and further, going further, we also planned, because DRC is going through a remodeling process. We are planning to deliver GSTR report in after 2024, second half of 2024. Yeah. Yeah. Now we come to the roadmap for SAP HANA Cloud Public Edition. Almost the same that we have for the private cloud or the on-premise. We are already compliant with goods and services tax, invoice templates, QR codes, electronic invoicing, payment formats, and audience. And for the rest of this year, for the rest of the that is first half of 2024, we plan to be compliant with TCS. And in 2024 second half, based on the availability of DRC, the readiness of DRC, we will also be delivering the reporting from GSTR perspective. All right. Here is the small, input about the help documentation. Here we have a very robust help documentation. Our colleagues from the knowledge team have taken extreme measures to see that the help documentation is really helpful in the sense that whenever you type a keyword and you want to look where you want to look at different pages for that, then you can there are different filters. You can filter based on area, the region, and which task it is applicable. And I think a lot of care and a lot of effort has gone into create this particular help documentation. The knowledge team has worked along with the engineering team hand in hand to see that every small functionality that might be useful to our customers is documented. And of course, the documentation is always never complete. So whatever we get feedback from the customers that we don't understand this is no more helpful, or this is not as helpful that we expected. It's an open thing, and it's a continuous improvement, and I'm sure they will work on it. Yeah. So here I'm really happy to announce, and I'm proud to announce that whatever has been localized for SAP BRIM, so for SAP BRIM is being used by SAP. That means SAP runs SAP. Today, more than 56.9% of the overall business volume of SAP is managed by SAP Convergent Invoicing and Contract Accounting. So in the sense that we want to see that SAP as a company is really benefiting with what we have done for our localization. So we have 19 countries which are already gone live with our localized solution for BRIM. And also we have other countries, and we plan to go localize most of them and go global with all these countries within 2025, within the end of 2025. So yeah, so this is SAP for you, and these are small these are useful links with general information about BRIM and BRIM localization. We have the video, we have blog posts. These two blog posts that you see here are created by our colleagues, which are really helpful. It gives a deep insight as to what is our solution for billing and revenue innovation management, and how this solution is coupled tightly with DRC and so on and so forth. So if you click at one of the, I think I can just open one of them. Yeah. So if you see here, this is the blog post written by, drafted by Andrea, and it gives a total insight on SAP Billing and Revenue Innovation Management. It talks about many aspects. So it's really helpful, and in case your company is implementing BRIM, then I think all these links will be of great use to all of us. Yeah. Okay. So So I think this is what I had as a part of my presentation today. We'll now go to a small demo. Just stop sharing. I'll try to open it. Okay, so this demo is basically
So, Vasavi, we can only see your PPT here. We don't see your screen.
Oh, is it?
I think
Okay.
you have to stop sharing and then
I'll
start
stop
sharing your screen.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
Yeah, now we can see your screen.
Yeah, is it visible?
Yeah.
Okay, just a minute. Okay, so before we go on to that, I'll just give a brief insight as to what is there as a part of this demo. So, as a part of this demo, we have a billable item. It's a regular B2B registered scenario. We have a billable item, and we are billing it and invoicing this particular billable item. And once it has been billed and invoiced, we can see the e-document cockpit, where we see how the e-document has been created, we submit it, and we also see the IRN generated and things like that. So yeah, I will stop in between so that I could explain further. Yeah. So we have the manage billable items. We have a billable item which has already been created, and we are now billing and invoicing this particular billable item. So we see that it's been already properly billed and invoiced. This is the invoicing document that we have. So we're trying to display the invoicing document. Yeah. Yeah. And we see that it's a billing for 1 lakh rupees, and we have 18% IGST which has been calculated. And then we come to the e-document cockpit, which is nothing but the manage electronic documents. And we see here that our particular e-document has been created. We have details of the e-document we created, which is the supplier type, the seller details, the buyer details, the shipment details. Yeah, the list of items. We have the amount of the invoice, the IGST value. And then we are going to submit this particular e-invoice. Once we submit it, you will see that the e-invoice has been generated. When you see the status here, the invoice is generated. And when you go to a detailed display, you see that the IRN number is available. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, so this comes to the end of the demo, and yeah, this is in short SAP BRIM for you, and believe me, it's a lot of effort that's gone in from the team, and it's and more is yet to come. Yeah, so I would leave with that note, and Mukesh, I think we can open up the floor for any questions that we have from all our customers, all our participants.
Thanks, Vasavi, for sharing that. So if you can just stop sharing so that we can have a look at people who are... Okay, super. So anyone on the call, if you have a question, maybe you can put it either on the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Yes, Abhishek, do you want to unmute yourself and ask your question? Okay, so there's already a question. So thanks for the nice presentation. I just want to know about any involvement of BRIM in steel sectors or core manufacturing sectors. Please share efficiency of this localization in this sector. What are the challenges for localizing BRIM?
Okay. Yeah, Abhishek, when you say the steel sector, would you mean the manufacturing side of the steel sector, or how is it?
Manufacturing side, ma'am.
Okay. Um, so manufacturing side, what I would say is, because we are introducing this product now, I mean the localized version of this product now for India. So we are collecting a lot of scenarios from all our customers in terms of what is, and we would like to do some POCs for them so that they also feel confident that the solution can handle their kind of business. So what I would suggest is, probably you can send in one or two of your scenarios after this call. Mukesh will, from the Indus team, you will get this presentation, and also you will have the contact information. So you can feel free to send us your scenarios, the key scenarios that you feel that BRIM needs to support from a tax perspective or from an industry perspective. And I'm sure, see, it's a very robust application. Yeah, Mukesh. Yeah.
Vasavi, just hold on.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask some clarification to Abhishek.
Mm-hmm.
Abhishek, a quick question. So,
Yes, sir.
do you in your organization have any recurring invoice kind of a scenario? Is there a way,
Yes,
or
actually
is
we
there a
have
need
a
for you to?
yes, actually we have a different kind of material. Some materials are in a batch system, some materials are in a bulk system, bulk manner. So that's why I want to ask about this efficiency of this particular localization, how to handle this all the different type of material scenarios and all. Like we have job work scenario also.
I would like also to comment. Mukesh.
Go on, Andrea.
Yeah, Andrea.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Vasavi already introduced me, so I'm application product owner of SAP BRIM. Just to comment also on this question, Abhishek. SAP BRIM, so this is basically a convergent invoicing and contract accounting. They are solutions that are addressed mostly, for, as Mukesh also mentioned, for recurring revenues and also for consumed-based and subscription businesses. So if you have, as also Vasavi explained also in her presentation, if you have a process, a business process that you are working with subscription, for example, if you have Netflix or if you have I don't know, Amazon, so they are basically services. So mostly we are also dealing with a huge number of invoices or millions of invoices that we are dealing in these processes. For example, Google or Amazon. So mostly indicated convergent invoicing and FICA are for this kind of businesses. For example, also utilities and I don't know, telco industries.
Telecom.
So
telecom. If you have a business that you are dealing with huge amounts of invoices in your processes, so this is indicated. So, but as Vasavi said, if you have any process that you think that this solution would also fit in, so please provide, and we can analyze.
Okay, got it.
One scenario that I could think of was, if I remember correctly, there used to be a steel exchange that was created. So if there is a steel exchange as a platform, and if there is a platform membership fee that is being charged, then that scenario of invoicing the membership fee for being a member of the steel exchange would be something that BRIM could potentially handle. But again, like iTunes or like telco, if there is a monthly fee that or a weekly or a quarterly or an annual fee that you charge for something, then BRIM could be a potential solution. So Biju is asking, do we support the content licensing for a period and IP right compliance during the BRIM invoicing?
Yeah, I think as a part of the product bundle, this can be supported, Biju.
So I have a question. Is BRIM also applicable for media companies, especially television companies, in invoicing for the advertisements that are being aired during a live event, like for example the Cricket World Cup that is going on?
Come again, Mukesh. What's that?
So is BRIM applicable for television service providers, like for example a
Yes.
CNN
All the
BBC?
streaming companies. Yes. All the streaming companies, Hotstar, Netflix. Their customers basically go on subscription model, right? So that was
No, I'm asking a different question.
Yeah, what's it?
My question is not about the streaming services. My question is
Mm.
about television companies, television channels like CNN, charging their advertisers.
Okay.
Not charging the end consumer.
Yeah, not charging the end consumers, but charging the advertisers. Okay. Yeah, this is a scenario that we need to explore in the system. I'm sure if that's going to be done as a service and it's going to be paid as a service that they're going to their customers in terms of advertising companies are going to consume, that could be bundled as a part of BRIM.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I see Aditya raising his hand. Aditya, you have a question?
Yeah. Hi, Vasvi. It was
Yeah,
a good
hi.
presentation. And I'm sure we have discussed earlier, you also know our marketplace solution
Right.
product
Yeah.
that we have, right? Yeah. So I joined this presentation a little bit later, but I was able to capture all the GST functionalities that you mentioned.
Okay.
So the question is, do you also provide the e-invoicing, the invoice posting, e-invoicing, the filing has to happen in the government portal. So that is also taken care of. And how do you maintain the balance? There is a certain criteria, right? Only if the company is more than 5 crore turnover in the previous per annual year, only then based on that the e-invoicing will be eligible. That customer
Correct.
will be eligible for the e-invoicing. So how do you take care of that?
The onus of determining whether you are eligible to do the e-invoicing or no, I think is with the companies. That I think that let me get back to you on that, but I don't think DRC looks into that, but I can surely get back to you on that. I'll check with the DRC team and come back to you. But otherwise, from there onwards, generating the e-invoice and submitting the invoice, that is within the purview of GRC. Yeah, and of course the reporting part of it. But whether you are eligible, like for example TCS, if you have crossed the turnover of a certain percentage, only then you can start collecting TCS, right?
Correct.
So that whether it's in the purview of the DRC part or no, that I will let you know. The 5 crore turnover part, whether there is a check on that, that I will let you know.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other question? A quick question for all the participants. How many of you are actually using BRIM in your organization? Maybe a quick show of hands. You can just use the reaction button to raise hand or do a thumbs up.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So is there any other questions for Vasavi? We can stay on for the next maybe 5 minutes or so to see if there are any questions. Yes, please.
Yeah. So one more question I have. This is with respect to the hardware. Okay. So not the e-invoicing or GST. Because in our platform, we are also planning to bring in hardware coupled with software, probably a firmware kind of solution. And right. Okay. So we are still using the old landscape of SAP BRIM. Okay, so how we can bring in hardware in the old landscape? I mean, if we have to use BRIM as a standalone, or if we move to the cloud version part of BRIM, is it just by moving to cloud? Is it possible? Can you give some information on that? So this is basically for the hardware coupled with software kind of solution.
Correct. So Andrea, maybe I'll take some help from you for this. So from a cloud perspective, I think this is possible, right? What Aditya is asking here.
Can you please ask the question again, Aditya?
Okay, so the requirement that we have is there could be certain hardware products. Okay, so we'll be selling some hardware products, and along with hardware product, there will also be some of the firmware, that is software firmware solutions,
Services.
which will be coupled with the hardware. Okay, and usually what happens is when we sell this hardware products, and once that is delivered, then we will ensure that the software product also has to be activated. And when we generate invoice to the customer, it's along with hardware and software. So so at this point in time,
this is a
I mean, that kind
scenario
of
that
solution.
yeah. Are you also using SD FI in your architecture? Sales
SD,
distribution, because yes, because that can be a combination. Yeah, if you are selling hardware, I mean goods. Yeah, so it can be also combined with services coming from convergent invoicing. So this is also possible, a combination, so that you can have both in your invoice, goods and services.
See, currently we are using, yes, we have core ERP as well, and we are using SAP BRIM. SAP BRIM is the old landscape of SAP BRIM, where the CRM is a separate box and CI is a different box. So that's the landscape that we're using. And does SAP provide any standard kind of solution for hardware in this? So because anyway, so according to you, the hardware part has to be taken care by the core ERP, where we have SD.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, of course, this is a consulting question, so this is a scenario that should be analyzed by consulting implementation team. But I assume this is definitely possible, as I mentioned before. So that there can be a combination of these, two modules being integrated together. Yeah, definitely.
And even when we go to the cloud version, it is going to remain the same, or as in we will still have to have a SD version of core ERP solution as well, or without that? Okay, so only in the standalone BRIM it will be possible.
Currently, I mean, the SD CI integration is not possible in the public cloud. Means that if you have your goods, I mean, being generated, I mean, invoicing in billing documents in SD, this cannot be created an invoice in convergent invoicing. However, in the public cloud, you have the SD FICA integration, so that you can invoice your documents in SD, and this can be posted in FICA. So this is possible currently with public cloud.
Yeah,
there are some scenarios that you need to check, that what is possible and supported already in public cloud or not. But that definitely SD FICA integration is going to be supported with 2402, as Vasavi mentioned in the presentation.
In the roadmap.
Yeah. But definitely, I mean, CI, convergent invoicing, subscription. Yeah, so these are mostly, as mentioned, I mean, for services. Yeah, so if you are using convergent invoicing, mostly you need to be also addressing services products.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Anyone else has any questions?
So one point from my side. Can you hear me?
Yes, Saban.
Yes.
The SD feeds will be available a little bit later. So we did not get the chance to implement this with Cloud 2402, but we will soon implement this with an FPE solution, or maybe in the next month, or than in 1 month later, or maybe in the 2408. Yeah, just for information.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Sabine. So really new information. We should adjust, the presentation accordingly, Vasavi.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
Yes, please. It was just decided last week that we are not reaching the timeline. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions?
Anyone else has any questions? So let's stay on for maybe another few minutes. And if you don't have a question, you can drop off. Thanks a lot for joining us for this session. Thanks a lot, Vasavi, for taking us through the session, and Andrea, and for answering all the questions. We still have some time, so we'll just stay on the call for another couple of minutes. So if you don't have any further questions, you can drop off. Feel free to drop off. I'll stop the recording as well.